Welcome back to Soda TV. I want to ask you, like I always do, to like, share, and subscribe. And we got a fire one today. Your boy Boots a badass made it out for the awards, huh? Congratulations. I mean, if you know Bootsy and you've been a 10, 15, 20-year fan, you know Bootsy gonna have a gun. You know Bootsy gonna ride with that fire. That's how he feel. But we definitely got to get into the comments that Charleston White made. Charleston White, a goddamn fool. Charleston White, you already know he a goddamn fool. He said Bootsy was in there. His knees got blisters
from praying so much.
All of this he is saying came out of Boosie's mouth. He is just reacting to everything Boosie said. Well, how he got out, how he was crying, and he was like just saying that, Boosie, you have to keep the tough persona, and that isn't quite the tough persona, basically. Charleston White also spoke on Boosie saying that, he was eating with Mexicans, and, Charleston White used the word fed. Now, I didn't see the Boosie interview or whatever, but he's saying the Mexicans fed him. And I'm like, that's interesting. That would be meaning that would insinuate that either Boosie was waiting on his commissary at that time because he didn't have commissary, so, they helped him at that time, or maybe loaned him, or was Boosie eating with them and dipping with them? I don't know how that went. But Charleston White is basically saying that ain't no official shit. That ain't no nigga shit, because niggas don't program with Mexicans. And definitely you have to think of the area that Boosie got locked up in. Now I'm thinking, like, the area Boosie got locked up in, that California area and its surrounding area, the Mexicans and blacks, this is not a general idea. This is for the this is the street politics. They just don't mix and mingle. But I would imagine on the outskirts of California and things, that blacks and Mexicans and Latinos are just fine. I would think it's just, and possibly in the surrounding areas it's bad too. Like, let's just be real. And let's take it back to what we talking about. Bootsy in there eating with the Mexicans. That, I'm trying not to comment too hard on that, man. And I really don't know how to feel, because we don't have those politics here in the Midwest. You see what I'm saying? But, of course, Charleston White is going to use all these things to make Bootsy seem like he a hoe. He said that God, all of these references Bootsy is using to make to God. Charleston White is basically saying, listen, you saying God is not on your side. You still gotta die in prison for putting Marlo Mike in there. You still gotta pay for your sins. And he's hoping for the judge to slam Boosie. And that's Charleston White. He gonna pray for that. But to see Boosie make the BET Awards and perform his #1 single, "Wipe Me Down," I think that's his #1 single, right? It felt good. I think that's his #1 single to this day. I think that's the one that's giving him that big old great bag every rip. That "Wipe Me Down." So I was glad to see his energy was on point. He got kids, you know what I'm saying? And I believe Bootsy know what he got ahead of him, and it ain't sweet, because Bootsy background is not clean. Let's keep it a whole buck. with that federal prison guideline chart, with his background being like that, with Boosie background being like that, it's gonna take him. I'm not even gonna say it's gonna take him all the way to the end. I'm not gonna comment on where or where I think it's gonna do. But what I am gonna say is Boosie has been catching cases, man. A lot of people don't know how long Boosie been out. Boosie been out for so long. Dude, y'all really don't know. Boosie, and he been hot for so long. The first time the dude let me listen to a hot song from Boosie, I wasn't even in the streets. I wasn't even thinking about the streets. And I got in the streets when I was about 15, 16. You know, I think I heard it when I was about 12. And Boosie it wasn't even hearing a kid curse like that and talk about selling drugs and guns. It was foreign at the time. That's why Boosie was so much of an outcast. But I just told you what age I was. So that had to be every little bit
Of '02.
And that's when Boosie was hot. Imagine before that, like a local hot. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Snapping, nothing but cussing and drug dealing and catching and end up. I think back then no, I'm not gonna think he was catching dope cases. Not at that, but not too later on. But so my thing is this: where does this leave Boosie on the guideline chart with his background and with his charge? You know, because the charge is not that bad on the chart, which it is going to be down some, but it isn't going to bring his background and the new charge together at a nice sentence. And I don't know why I'm Jason, man. I you know, Boosie got enough people praying for him. You know, I hope, you know, Charleston White said Boosie gonna tell. I know that ain't gonna happen. I hope Boosie come out of victorious however he comes out. And more so than that, I hope Boosie of course Boosie is going to get all his assets together, everything he owns, and put it where it needs to be for whenever he goes. But I hope that he can put that in the hands of the right person, because Boosie got a lot of stuff, a lot of property, a lot of valuables, a lot of jewelry. I hope he can put that in the right hands for when he goes in there, because you know, we all know how that goes. And Boosie is feeding a lot of people. A lot of people is going to be expecting, and I just hope he can work that out. But man, I've been talking to y'all. I ain't even hit the blunt, even though it's a Dutch. But I'm gonna ask y'all to like, share, and subscribe once again, and we gone.